All right, everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep into something a little different this time,
Hmm.
sustainable fashion.
Yes.
I feel like we all know, right? Like
Yeah.
fast fashion, it's got kind of dark side,
Yeah.
all those trendy clothes,
Yeah.
they come with a real environmental cost, right?
Totally.
You think about all the mountains of textile waste, like just filling of landfills,
Ah, it's awful.
and that's not even mentioning like all the water that's used.
Yeah, the water usage is
Well, that
insane
water usage,
and the pollution.
huge problem.
But what if you could like look amazing and feel good about the clothes you're wearing?
Right. Like, isn't that the dream?
Yeah. And that's where sustainable fashion comes in, right?
Exactly. It really is.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when they hear sustainable fashion, they kind of think, oh, burlap sacks,
Ah,
you know,
yeah.
but it's really not like that at all.
It's not about sacrificing style at all.
Not at all. It's all about, finding your own style, but um, making choices that are good for the planet. Yeah. So like conscious consumption.
Exactly. Conscious
Okay.
consumption.
So how do we actually do that?
Right.
Like, where do we even begin? I personally love the idea of thrifting.
Oh, thrifting is amazing.
Finding those one-of-a-kind pieces, giving them a second life,
Absolutely.
feels like a treasure hunt.
It totally is. And every time you buy something secondhand, think about it.
Yeah,
You're directly reducing the demand for new clothing production,
that's huge.
which means less waste going to landfills.
And we know that's a big problem.
Oh yeah, massive problem.
Okay, so for our listener, right, who's maybe never thrifted before,
Yeah.
any tips for becoming a thrifting pro? Like how do we find those hidden gems?
Well, I would say, first of all, get to know your local thrift stores.
Okay?
They each have their own like personalities, their own kind of vibe, and their own hidden gems.
Literally.
But also, don't be afraid to try some of the online platforms.
Yeah, like what are some good ones?
Like Depop or Poshmark.
Okay, I've heard of those.
Yeah, those are great options, especially if you're looking for something specific.
Ooh, yeah, like a vintage band tee or something like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can totally find that on those sites.
You mentioned earlier conscious consumption.
Right.
Like, what does that actually look like in practice?
That's a good question.
Like in our everyday lives?
It's really about shifting your mindset, I think. Like before you buy something,
Yeah.
really ask yourself, do I actually need this?
Yeah.
Where was this made? What are the values of this brand?
I see. So like thinking beyond just the look of the item.
Exactly. It's about, being mindful of the impact of your choices.
Right.
Not just on the planet, but on the people who make our clothes.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to put on my creative hat now.
Okay.
Let's talk upcycling.
Ooh, yeah.
It's almost like magic.
It is.
Taking something old, turning it into something new.
Totally.
Awesome.
It's amazing what you can do with just a little bit of imagination. And upcycling it's not just about being creative.
Yeah.
It's incredibly resourceful.
Yeah,
We live in this world where we just throw things away without thinking twice.
it's true.
And upcycling really challenges that mentality.
Yeah.
It forces us to like see the potential in what we might normally just throw away.
That's such a good point.
Okay.
I bet our listener, right, has some clothes in their closet right now
Oh,
that
sure.
are just like begging for a makeover.
Aha, totally.
Any cool upcycling ideas that they could try?
So many. Turning old t-shirts into tote bags.
Classic.
That's a classic, right?
Yeah.
But I recently saw someone who turned a denim jacket into like a patchwork quilt.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And you can also, add embroidery or patches to breathe new life into worn out clothes.
Oh yeah.
Or even like repurpose damaged fabrics into cool accessories.
Oh, that's really cool.
Possibilities are endless.
It's only limited by our imagination.
Exactly.
So we've thrifted, we've upcycled. Now let's talk about supporting brands that are, doing things the right way.
Yeah.
Ethical brands.
Hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of confusion about what that actually means.
Yeah, it's a bit of a buzzword.
Yeah.
Ethical can mean so many things, but essentially it boils down to how a brand treats its workers,
Right.
how it treats the environment,
Not
the
fair.
materials that it uses.
So really like the whole process.
The whole process, it's about, looking beyond just the aesthetics and understanding the story behind the clothes.
Gotcha. So how can our listeners spot, a truly ethical brand?
That's a good question.
What are some things to look for?
Certifications are a good place to start.
Okay.
Look for things like fair trade,
Okay.
which ensures fair wages, safe working conditions for farmers and workers.
That's so important.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
GTS, yeah, which certifies that materials are organic and that the production process is sustainable.
I see. I see.
Another important thing is transparency.
Okay.
Do they openly share information about their supply chain?
Yeah.
Are they committed to fair wages? These are all really good signs.
So it's like with these ethical brands, you're not just buying a product.
Right.
You're supporting like a whole set of values.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? Your purchases can actually make a difference.
That's a good feeling.
By supporting these brands, you're sending a message to the fashion industry that you care about these things.
But you're voting with your dollar.
Exactly.
All right, listener. Time for action.
Yes.
We challenge you. For your next outfit,
Okay.
either thrift it
Ooh.
or upcycle something that you already have.
Love that.
Get creative. Have fun with it.
Totally. And if you're feeling bold,
Yeah,
share your creations on social media with the hashtag the Green Life Challenge.
I love that.
It's amazing to see what people are doing.
Okay, so to wrap this whole thing up, right?
Yeah.
Fast fashion, it may be cheap. It may be trendy, but it comes at a high cost to the environment.
Absolutely.
The good news is there are amazing alternatives out there.
How many?
Thrifting, upcycling, supporting ethical brands.
Yes.
These are all ways to express yourself through fashion
Absolutely.
without harming the planet.
And, it can be a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And rewarding.
I love that.
What?
As you're putting together your next outfit, here's something to think about.
Okay.
How do your fashion choices reflect your values as a consumer?
That's a great question to ask yourself.
It can really change how you think about your whole wardrobe.
It really can.
All right, thanks for joining us on this deep dive,
Yeah, thanks for having me.
and we'll see you next time.
See you later.